Hey everybody, welcome to What's Up Wednesday. We hope all of you had a fantastic Thanksgiving and got a little bit of downtime, got to spend some time with family. I know Melinda and I were lucky enough to have our son home from college for the weekend, and that brings up the topic this week, which is pre-task planning. When my son flew into the airport in Seattle, I knew it was going to be a nightmare on Wednesday and probably the same flying back out on Sunday. So I planned ahead just a little bit, and I asked him to meet us in departures when he came in, which is the ticketing check-in level of the airport. And it was a good thing I did, because as we came into the airport, the traffic was lined up for at least a mile to get into the baggage claim area, and there were no cars at departures. On the way out on Sunday, we did the exact same thing. We went to baggage claim, and it was pretty much barren, but the line to get to departures was a mile long. So, the theme here is a little bit of pre-task planning goes a long ways. Now, I'm familiar with the fact that most companies have a JHA, job hazard analysis, or JSA, job safety analysis, whatever you want to call it. There are a million names for it, but they have a process every day that their people go through to kind of plan their work, so to speak. Now, I would say that oftentimes I find those to be extremely light and very kind of bare minimum. When I look at pre-task planning, I think it's the key to success. I preach this: planning, 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 because ultimately in a company, the number one most important thing is production. We need to produce work so that we can make money as a company. Obviously, we don't want anybody getting hurt in the process. And number three, we want high quality work. Rework costs money, costs time. We don't have time for it. So ultimately, taking a little bit of time to plan the work can go a long ways. A good example would be, let's say on the weekend you have an activity you need to perform. You need to change out a light fixture, as an example, in the house. You're going to need tools for that. You're going to need a step ladder. You're going to need your electrical tools, equipment, screwdriver, whatever tools you need. If you plan that out ahead of time, bring all your tools with you, it'll prevent you from having to stop in the middle of your activity and go get something. And I can't tell you how many times that happens on a job where somebody doesn't plan out and they realize they don't have the right tool. Let's just say that they are doing overhead work and they need an 8-foot step ladder, but they didn't plan ahead. They got a 6-foot step ladder. Now we've created risk because they have the wrong tool, and instead of going and taking the time to go again and get the right tool, they're often going to use the wrong tool, which presents risk and the potential of an injury. So I'm a really big advocate for planning. I do an entire training session on planning, and I think it's one of those topics that we could spend so much time on, because the more you teach people about efficiency in their planning, the more likely they are to be very successful and productive on the back end. So keep that in mind. It's a great topic to spend time on, train on, have conversations with your people, and it bears significant fruit. So let that sink in. We'll see you next Wednesday.